So, can you have too many choices? Welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenyce Hughes. Thank you so much for being here. I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. Now, this show is inspired on something that is going on in hubby and I's life at the moment, which is, as many of you know, we've put our beautiful acreage up for sale so that we can actually travel the world without a home to have to come back to, or to be taken care of from a distance, or to be arranging people to stay. It's very exciting, guys. It's very exciting. And we have some offers. So what we've been looking at is, what do we do? What do we choose when we leave? Like, we've been talking about this forever, and now that it's like right here, one of the offers would like this beautiful place on June 28th. So if we choose that offer, oh my goodness, that means in just over a month, where do we go? What do we do? Now, we've been looking at, and our bigger choice around it is to do house sitting and such. So, of course, that, but also, what else? What else? In fact, I was talking to a very good friend of mine, Chris Hassel. He sells real estate in Lloydminster, Alberta/Saskatchewan. So if you're looking for a realtor in that area, reach out to him. I've even had him on the show. He sold our other acreage, our first acreage, and he would sell this one too if he could. He's just not in the area. But I was talking to him the other day, and he said something interesting to me, and I know it to be true for me for sure, is that money is a factor when you sell homes, of course, but in his many, many years of experience, it's actually more the motivation. And what he means by that is, where are we going to? So when we had our first acreage for sale, before we found this place, and we had multiple offers over a span of time on that other acreage, and when we hadn't found this place, I was not happy with those offers. I thought it was worth more. I thought they were being disrespectful. I had all these really interesting points of views, but guess what changed when we found this place? Everything. All of a sudden I was like, I don't care what it takes. I want this home. Sell that one. Just do it. I don't care. It changes everything, the motivation or the inspiration to go and have another possibility. So when I was talking to Chris the other day, what he suggested to me is, you need to figure out what you would do on June 28th when you move out of here to get that inspiration, to get that excitement. I was like, wow, I'd never considered that. I mean, I knew we were going to apply for house sits and stuff, but I'm not sure that that's the first thing. So hubby and I have been talking about it at length in terms of like, okay, we can truly do anything. We can go anywhere. Where do we want to go? And suddenly that's where this like, can you have too many choices? Like, is that a thing? Now, of course, it's not a thing. There are some parameters for us. So hubby volunteers at the Edmonton Folk Festival and has for almost as many years as I've known him. So I think he's on, 28th year or something. And so we know we want to be back in Edmonton the second weekend in August. So, we're kind of looking at maybe 6 weeks of, where we'd like to be and go do something totally different. And so kind of looking at it like that, okay, so there's one factor. We know that that's something. And hubby said he doesn't have to, but I said, it's something you love to do. So let's put that as part of, our plan. So, okay, that's one plan. And then the other thing is we started looking at, okay, well, we could go on this huge driving trip. But then if we do that, do we really want to get kind of like somewhere and have to pretty much turn back and come all the way back? Maybe not. So maybe it's something else. So we've just been like looking at all of the possibilities and recognizing that sometimes that too many choices can really stop you from actually choosing, can really put you in that place of like, oh no, I don't know what to do, so I won't do anything. And I mean, obviously, we would have to do something if we accept this offer. We would have to do something come June 28th. So, I mean, we would still be choosing, but I would really like to be choosing from the place of infinite possibilities and infinite choice, which is our natural state. It's just often when we're given more than 3 choices, we blank out. We energetically we skip out. We're done because we're usually given the either or. You can either stay in Canada or you can go to the US. You can either go to Australia or you can go to Europe. And I truly wonder what it might be to always know that we have that infinite choice. So even looking right now at terms of like, what would we like to go do? What's the inspiration? What's going to be like so exciting and really inspire us to sell this beautiful place that I love so much? And what is that? And knowing that it could be anything, like truly, there's so many places. There was a friend of mine, a school friend, that had reached out last year when she saw us doing some house sitting and such. And she lives in Barbados. And she had invited us at the time to come and house sit for them in last December. However, I had Christmas with my family booked and I wasn't willing to give that up, not even for Barbados. I know, it's crazy. And so I said no, but she's like, well, in the summer, we're gone also. So if you're interested. So that's one of the possibilities that I mentioned to hubby is like, well, Barbados, like that feels super fun. That feels like a really fun place to be. And she'd also, of course, sent me some photos that was like, oh my gosh. So, there's one of a bazillion possibilities. There's so many. And if I don't get like locked up in how there's too many, or that too many choices is somehow wrong, or even more so that I have to get the choice right. And I would say that's one thing that comes up in my world a lot, and probably for many of us, is this almost subconscious or back, behind the scenes energy of like, I need to get this right. I need to make the right choice. And really, like, it's such a lie, because you can't make a right choice and you can't make a wrong choice. You just make choices and then you get to receive more information. We may make the choice to go to Barbados and find out that Barbados in July isn't so fun for us. We could have that awareness, but guess what? Then we'll never go to Barbados in July again. And it wouldn't be a wrong choice. It would just be a choice that gave us lots of information. We may go to Barbados and never leave and be like, no, we want to live here forever. Who knows? We've never been to Barbados. I have no clue what it would be like to be there. So there's so many different ways if we feel like we have too many choices, if we feel like there's too much to choose from, get out of the right and wrong of it first. Like that there is a right thing and a wrong thing. And I know so many situations feels like there is right or wrong with it. Like there is the right choice with this and there is a wrong choice with it. But honestly, it isn't. Look at all of the things you've chose over the years and the things that you thought were the right choices. Look at those first. Some of them probably turned out to what you might have judged as wrong. Interesting, hey? So, what if there truly isn't right or wrong? And what if you get to receive the awareness and like truly receive it? Meaning you don't judge it. You don't go, oh, I made the wrong choice. You don't go into the doubting of it. You just recognize, okay, I'm choosing this in whatever it might be. So let's say we choose Barbados. Okay, we're choosing Barbados. Cool. And here's the other thing. With any choice you make, you can choose again. You can choose again. You could even choose as you're standing at the gate to get on the airplane to choose again. You could say, actually, I've changed my mind and not get on the plane. You could actually land in Barbados and change your mind and get on another airplane. Like there's so many choices. We also have this idea often that when we make a choice, it's for always and forever. What if it's not? What if you make the choice until you make another choice. As we talk about in Access Consciousness, choice is good for 10 seconds. And then you get to choose again, and ultimately it's good for 0.02 seconds. Like the moment it takes you to make a choice, you could make another choice. So there is no, this is always and forever. Even the things that you feel like are always and forever. I mean, years ago, I went to school to become a psychiatric nurse. And I did work in that field for a number of years, and then I stopped. Then I started this business 20 some years ago. So I made a choice. Now that felt like a forever choice. I had I went to college for it, took a couple of years of my life to study for it. I paid, got a student loan, and took me years to pay that off. So that seems like an always and forever choice. And yet, especially nowadays, but also all the time, they're good for 10 seconds. They're good for a second. So, speaking of Access Consciousness, guys, I have the final pool party bars and foundation here at this acreage. Yep, June 21st is bars, and then 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th is foundation. Come and play. Would love to have you here. Would love to share this beautiful space one last time with these classes. Oh, this has been just a yearly treat for me to be able to share them and to share this space and these magical tools. So would love to have you come and play. There'll be a link above or below. If you don't see a link, reach out and I'll get you one. So when you are feeling like you have way too many choices, like you're overwhelmed with all the choice available, first take out where you could get it right or you could get it wrong. Just take that right out of the equation and then start looking at, okay, what feels fun? What are the possibilities that would really wow me? What are the ones that I would be so inspired to choose towards? Start writing those down or thinking about them, however you process information the best, so you can start really looking at what that is. And then I always like to mix the woo with the logic. Then look at what's required. I started looking at flights to Barbados. I'd never even looked at flights to Barbados before. So it was like, what does it take? Where do we fly from? What, and could that be part of the plan? Could we say fly from, I don't know, Winnipeg, and maybe we take a week to drive to Winnipeg, stopping at different places? I mean, there's just so many possibilities, you guys. And I wasn't this excited when I first really looked at it. So this whole process to me is really such a gift when we can get out of the right or wrong, or stop looking at choices as though there's a right or wrong, and then looking at, okay, what would be the funnest? What would light us up? What's the inspiration? Where's that energy? What's that? And then the logic of, okay, what's required to choose that? What are the actions required? And is that feasible right now? So let's say we were going to sell our cars too. We're not, but let's say we were going to. Then it wouldn't really be feasible to consider driving from here to Winnipeg to fly to Barbados. Now, not impossible, because we could rent a car, of course, but not as feasible. So that's what I mean. You want to kind of start looking at things, get that excitement, what matches that energy, what's the action steps, and then start choosing and choosing and choosing and choosing, and recognize that every choice you make is going to give you so much awareness. Receive the awareness. This is where people stop the receiving. They go into, that was a wrong choice, I'm bad, I shouldn't have done that shouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. And all you're doing with that is stopping the receiving. Have a great week, sweet friends, and I look forward to chatting again next week.